Hi everybody, my name is Dean Karahalios and I was involved in Telos Project Phase 1. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I was born and raised in Chicago. I attended St. John the Baptist and St. Haralabos Greek Orthodox churches growing up, and I later attended Loyola and St. Andrew Greek Orthodox Church also became sort of a parish home for me. And that's really when my love for young adult ministry really started, when I started becoming really involved in Loyola's OCF. Later, when I graduated from Loyola, I had the incredible opportunity to serve on the executive board for YL Chicago while I was attending medical school. And later, I continued my involvement in young adult ministry when I moved to Syracuse, New York for my residency training. Um, and it's funny, I'll never forget my first day at St. Sophia Greek Orthodox Church in Syracuse, New York. I remember came in for liturgy on a Sunday morning. I lit my candle, took a place in the pews and so on. And eventually a man comes up to me and says, I want to talk to you after church. And that just got my mind thinking, oh my gosh, I'm new to this parish. Like, did I do something wrong? Was it the way I lit my candle? I don't know. Anyways, the rest of the liturgy passed, and eventually made my way over to the coffee hour, where he found me again. And he introduced himself as the parish council president. And really all he wanted to do was introduce me to all the other young adults in the parish. And I thought that was so incredible of him to seek me out and pinpoint me as a new young adult in the church and want to sort of like kickstart my homecoming there in a way. So I still remember giving out my email address that day and signing up for the Telos Project email listserv, and the rest is history. So sure enough, later on, I took on more of a leadership position as some other young adults had to move away from Syracuse. And I think my sort of love for young adult ministry really sort of developed even further. So it was being part of the Telos project in Syracuse was a really interesting experience for me because beforehand I came from Chicago where there were so many parishes and so many Orthodox people that no matter what sort of event we would put on, there were sure to be, a handful of people there and it would be a successful event. On the other hand, Syracuse was a much smaller city, and it was a really sort of interesting transition to go from designing events for like the entire metropolis of Chicago to designing events for this small parish in Syracuse. And so really that whole process kind of taught me a new metric for what it means to have a successful young adult ministry. I think, whereas in Chicago, I think my mind was much more numbers focused. In Syracuse, I started to realize that what was more important was the connections that we built and the just sort of motivation to attend the events and the love that we would build for the church and the young adults who participated in our events. And so that was a really big growing experience for me, and I really think it added a whole lot of depth to my work in young adult ministry at that point. And really, I'm just so thankful for that whole experience. And sure enough, as it did with many other things, the COVID-19 pandemic really put that idea to the test. As things shut down and we weren't allowed to have in-person events, and we were challenged to come up with other ways to meet virtually and use new communication tools and so on. I think it really sort of showed us that that same exact idea that I was just talking about, that how important it was to build the love for the church among young adults in Syracuse. And I think that's really what propelled their participation through the pandemic and even afterwards. So, I mean, looking back now, 4 years later, when I started at St. Sophia, um, I'm so thankful for my experience there. Of course, for learning these lessons, and then also for meeting all the great people I met along the way, including my current fiance and so many of our other friends who we still keep in touch with, even though now I've moved to a different state. And so, anyways, I'm so happy to hear that you're interested in the Telos project, and I wish you guys all the best as you embark on your own Telos journeys and make a difference in the lives of young adults all across the country. Thanks.